In this report, I will be discussing the use of film and editing throughout the course of history and how technology has developed filming and editing. In the first century of photography, everyone used film because it was the only option, as technology hadn't developed yet. It is a celluloid material which is light sensitive and can record long-lasting images. Film is still preferred by most filmmakers because it is the tradition and it's effective. It also has the advantage of depth of field, which enables the ability to change the focus from shallow and large depth of field. Exposure latitude is another thing which is better with film, as it is described as whether a film is over or underexposed. And with film, it is easy to render. For example, if a white patch was on film when it was rendered, it would still show detail, whereas digital wouldn't. The magic lantern was a form of entertainment and brought on ideas of filming later on. The magic lantern was created in the late 17th century, but we do not know by whom. It is a simple slide projector which uses images painted on glass or paintings in front of glass. A lot of people suggest that all the images are still, but a lot of them have moving parts. Some have levers and some have sliding pieces of glass. In 1820s, a process came in called the copper plate process, which sketched outlines onto the glass. This also saw the start of photographic images. It was invented as a source of entertainment which became very popular all the way through to early cinema. It was mainly used to tell a story or show funny cartoons. It was also used by ancient priests to bring the fear of God into people. Charles Dickens was inspired by the magic lantern and often wrote his stories around the use of it. His next-door neighbour used to own a magic lantern and would often go around to Dickens' house and entertain the family. When it was first invented, it was used in the same way as modern-day cinema to create an effect of escapism and completely loss of focus on your surroundings. The only thing you focus on is the projected images. A thaumatrope is two images drawn onto a disc or piece of paper cut into a circle. It has two pieces of string attached to act as handles. When the string is twirled between fingers at pace, both images look like they blend in with each other. A zoetrope is a cylinder piece of plastic with images around the inside of it. The cylinder has vertical slits on the outside. The images on the inside are sequenced, and therefore when the cylinder is spun round, the images look like they are moving to tell a story. The success of the zoetrope led a Frenchman in 1877 to invent the praxinoscope. Much like the zoetrope, images are stuck on the inside of the cylinder, but in the centre are mirrors, which show the image on the inside. It is the same as the zoetrope, but more advanced and technical, with the mirrors involved. Edward Muybridge was an Englishman who had the theory that horses could fly. He used the invention of the zoetrope to back up his idea. At one point in the horse's stride shows all 4 feet not touching the ground. He also invented the zoopraxiscope to observe animal locomotion. The Lumiere brothers invented the cinematograph, which is an invention of combining a camera with a printer and projector. At 16 frames per second, it was much slower than Edison's 48 frames per second, but the noise was reduced. They were two French brothers who were technically minded and excelled in science classes at school. The first film ever edited was by Edwin Porter, employee of Thomas Edison. The Life of an American Fireman was the first ever film to include a music background and transition effects. It was edited to show the perspectives of both the fireman and woman. It was also edited to show a faded transition, just like the ones we see today. This has developed editing to whole new ideas for transition and soundtracks. In summary, all these types of editing have been used to advance editing and filming throughout the industry. We've gone from the magic lantern projecting a simple image onto a wall to actual moving images to tell a story in a sequence. The biggest step of them all is the Lumiere brothers' invention of actual film. Even though the camera they used was heavy and bad quality, it sparked many ideas and made film editing what it is today. We then have the first piece of film ever to be edited, which involved music and transitions. There are so many transition effects nowadays which are all inspired by this first piece of footage.